gosh, it's super foggy. Can't see anything.
I'm very tired, but it would be nice to start sailing again.
You want to tell the world why you are tired?
I'm tired because for the last month I've been to the US twice, London once, we crossed Biscay, did a bunch of sailing in between all those dates. I just got now we're gonna go sail again. So I'm a bit tired. But, oh, and I was sick in there too.
Good stuff. Are we good to go? All right.
You can't come around just as you please. Pretend to wear your heart on the sleeve. Claiming to have found this inner peace.
We see you in the bed, Oscar.
Still believe. And you can ride through town, wearing your excuses on your head like a crown. You can leave it be, 'cause I am not your woman. This bird is free. You can play the hero, the gallant knight, on the widest stallion you can find. I just see a zero that's being polite. One needs
You want to go take a nap?
Maybe.
and you can try.
Actually, if I do, I'm gonna do it on the deck so I don't get sick.
Okay.
Wearing nothing but your fake smile, looking
got
like
it?
a clown. You should leave it be, 'cause I'll never be your woman. This bird is free. And you can ride.
I don't know if I'm excited to try this horn.
We need a new one.
Honey, you are louder when you fart. The question is, how long can we expect it to be foggy?
Could be like this all day. Seems pretty common along this coast.
It's okay, guys. I have a solution. This is not working.
I told you we should not bring that with us.
I think it's great.
No, it's not. Do you know, you can probably hear that maybe one boat length ahead.
I'll be very honest and say I didn't bring it as a way for us to communicate with each other or with other boats. It's the first time that we are navigating in the fog, and for now we have an okay visibility, although it comes and goes, and right now we're like, oh no, this is getting thicker now. That's not very comfortable. So, dealing with that right now. The boat on the AIS, it was doing 3 knots. know, all the uncomfortable situations, ending up in the fog is probably the one that scares me the least.
Really?
It's definitely keeping me on my toes, but it's okay.
So being in waves scares you more than not being able to see anything?
Yeah, actually.
Okay.
Because like at night we can't see either, you know, like we can see the
That's not
lights.
true. You can see the lights. If you're at night in this, you can't see the lights.
No, it's true. Like being in this at night would scare me, absolutely.
But it's no different. No, I'm telling you.
Okay, let's talk about fear. Fear is not rational. I have no rational explanation why the fog scares me a little less than the waves. I don't. It's still a little thick around land, but at least we have some good visibility on the horizon. We should be arriving in 1 or 2 hours. I was envisioning a very hard passage in the waves and 25 knots of wind, and this is definitely not it. Like, we've motor sailed the entire way. I don't think that we're gonna turn the engine off before we arrive today.
Let's just take some transom readings before we...
Yeah, let's go. We are leaving Camariñas. We haven't even been on shore. But it's super nice, you know, instead of doing those big 2 or 3 days push like we've been doing all the way from Stockholm down here, now we can do some day hops from anchorage to anchorage and wake up fresh, and we get to appreciate what we see a lot more. Today we are going to Muros. Was there a bit of seaweed? Yeah, I do. Alright, you ready?
Señorita, llamada general de Vigo y Finisterra Radio, con nuevo importante aviso a los navegantes, escuchen Vigo Radio Canal 22, pero y a Finisterra Radio Canal 2222.
Nice day, guys. Nice day. Oh la vache! No, that is definitely working.
It works now. Now the visibility... I might actually need you up here, honey.
We now have a combination of swell and fog. And 2 minutes ago our visibility was at 0.5 nautical mile, and now it's definitely lower than that. Ugh. Worse than yesterday.
Oh yeah.
us, I am taking starboard, Ryan is taking port, and you can take behind us. I count on you. It's gonna hurt my ears.
Both hands.
Do you hear this?
I do.
It's nice. So Ryan, how much do you enjoy the landscapes of Western Spain?
It's like looking at a blank canvas.
Isn't it great? Like you can make
Totally.
out anything you want out of this.
It's up to your imagination.
It's a new thing. You get to imagine what's behind the fog.
Well, I think our little run here is going to be very, very short-lived.
Yeah. Good try. Good try. A for effort. See,
Yeah, I think that's the...
yeah, that's a big shallow one there.
No, I don't think... I think it's like a rock here.
Yeah. Oh, I see. We can start to see the waves crashing against the shore. There's a danger mark. Gosh, it's super foggy. Can't see anything. Yeah, this is definitely a big mountain. We have just arrived in the Ria where we wanted to anchor, but it's still like foggy, so we're gonna try to go check out the town. And yeah, we're very happy that the fog is, at least in this part, kind of okay. We do have enough visibility, but man, like in the sun, this place must be absolutely gorgeous. The fog gives it quite a like mysterious, dramatic feel though, so it's kind of cool. But I was not ready for an entire day in the fog, and that's what we get. But oh well, we do with what we get.
Fog! It's just a big cloud that's now on top of you. There's many types of fog. There's radiation fog, which is what you would find by your house in the summertime when there's no wind and the sun sets and you start seeing this fog form. Then there's a thing called advection fog, which is what you find along the Spanish-Portuguese coast, and that's when you have a warm air mass, which is the sun heating up the land in the summertime, and a cold air mass, which is the Atlantic Ocean. That warm moves over the cold. The ocean doesn't warm as fast as the air, so it stays cold and it starts to cool off that warm air mass. And when that happens, the air condenses and creates essentially a cloud over you. This is a very simplified explanation. So when that happens, obviously your visibility gets low. In our case, the visibility was anywhere from a half mile to a mile on the first day, which really isn't too bad, but if it's your first time in fog, it might be a bit scary. To the second day where we were maybe down to 100 meters or so, and that can be really quite frightening because you can barely make out the next swell that's coming towards you. While there are really good ways to forecast it, I have found that there's not very good ways, at least available to sailors, to know the chances of fog. I've found very little on predict wind or passage weather. You can check local forecasts. Maybe they just say, oh, there's a chance of fog, but it's a pretty general statement. So that was a bit frustrating in our travels. Dealing with the fog is always a bit of a challenge too. We have a horn on polar seal. We didn't really think it worked. We should have tested it before we went out, but we got it to work, and we did actually use it a couple times with another sailboat that was not very far from us. We knew it was there, but we lost it in the fog and blew the horn a couple times. Now that we got more high-tech gear in this age, everyone talks about AIS. We don't have a transmitter, an AIS transmitter on Polar Seal. We just have a receiver. We can see other ships, but those other ships have to have an AIS also. Sophie and I are really aware that we can see other boats, but they can't see us. That's always something we keep in the back of our minds, is that it's up to us to be able to spot people, because they may not be looking at their AIS, they may not have a receiver. The other tool that's available is radar, which has been around a lot longer. And radar is great because you don't have to rely on another ship having a piece of hardware to make it work. The radar will just pick out objects. It could be a buoy out in the channel, or it could be another ship moving, and it will be able to tell you if that object is moving, at what speed and what bearing. We have radar on Polar Seal. Unfortunately, the radar is not working. The radar works, the chart plotter works, but we have a broken pin in the back of our chart plotter, and they're quite difficult to get fixed. So in the off season, we'll send a chart plotter to Raymarine. Hopefully they can fix it and we can get the radar going. We knew that it didn't work before we entered this area. We knew that it was a risk to us, but it was something we were willing to take. I didn't think we'd get into as dense a fog as we did, so if I were to do it again, I maybe would be a little bit more careful about it. So based on that experience, I think we learned a few good lessons. One is to make sure, if you have your technology, make sure it's working. We were aware that our radar wasn't working. We did attempt to get it fixed. We elected to not stay in a port for an extra week to not have it fixed, partly based on my philosophy that ships have been sailing around the world for hundreds of years without radar, but it would have really been nice to have. Another lesson learned would be to check other forecasts outside of just the sailing forecast. I think that you can find more fog prediction on local weather than you could on Passage Planner, Passage Weather, or Predict Wind. See if it's predicted to have clouds, because that could be a sign that maybe those clouds might come low. I think the third thing is probably make sure your basic fog equipment, like a foghorn, is working. We had to kind of like prime our horn. It's one of those air horns. We hadn't used it in about a year, and it was making some funny sounds when we first fired it up, but we got it working. At least we had a few tools at our disposal, and we were prepared for dealing with it. But if you do encounter it, it's not a big deal. Slow the boat down a little bit. The slower you go, the more reaction time you'll have. Have your crew on deck to help you spot for other objects, especially if the visibility gets low enough that you really start feeling uncomfortable. If you have any tips for dealing with fog, feel free to leave them in the comment section below. We would love to hear about them, and I think other people in the community would love to hear about them. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you're new to our channel, please feel free to subscribe below or leave us a comment. Next week, we have a special surprise. We're going to take you to paradise in northern Spain. There's going to be dolphins. It's really fun. Hope you have a nice week. We'll see you again next time. Bye bye.
Good job, honey. High five.